Plot synopsis for Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Former terrorist confronts the president of his local utility company to complain about service. Disgruntled ex-employees of said utility company forego a union, instead attempt to destroy the world and restore their god.
Yeah.
Welcome to Reshoot, amateurs in no suits. Too many movies to explore. Ruthie, Hector, and Ed, laughter till the end. Let's see something never done before.
That was so good.
That's it. That's
the actual movie. We're not
synopsis.
I'm not giving an actual synopsis. Like, here's the thing. Like, one, it actually encompasses the movie pretty well. Two, like, if you're listening to this episode, you like Final Fantasy VII, or at the very least, you've seen Advent Children. Like, you know.
Or you have no idea what's going on and you're just here for the ride. And you know what? I'm in the same boat. I have no idea what happened in that movie other than what I just said.
Yep.
Also, hello, welcome to Reshoot, an amateur's guide to gooder film. We take movies that we like, we dislike, maybe somewhere in between, and we make them objectively better. I am your host, Denzel.
I am another host, Squally and Hart.
I'm your host, Clive Rossfield.
Clive.
All right, so real names.
Ruthie.
Ed.
Hector. So usually, we always open it to requests. We don't always get some. But we actually got a request this time from Lord Reverend D, who has been on a guest when we did Sharks of the Corn. He is also the host of 2 podcasts, Rulebooks Anonymous and Sparks of Interest. I think he has a third one, but I can't remember if he does. I'm a bad podcast friend. Sorry, D. Anyways, so I didn't realize why until like a few weeks ago. He asked for this one because of the upcoming game, which by this point will have already been out. Heck, my friend, he beat the game after 75 hours. He treated it like a fucking full-time job.
Yeah, because it came out last week, right?
It came out last week as of recording this. And I every time I turned on Discord or checked it throughout the day, morning, noon, night, he was playing it.
He spent 75 hours in 1 week.
In a 7-day time span.
Yes. Technically 6 days.
Oh yeah, because today.
So he worked.
He took days off.
No. Because my friend took like a whole week off when Diablo 4 came out, and that was his life for that entire week.
Understandable.
But I'm just saying, like, usually, like, work hours, like, you max out at 80, right? Per week?
No, 40.
40.
40.
80.
Well, like,
unless you're one of those
overtime.
unless one of your rise and grind set kind of like dudes. Which,
but you can work overtime up to a legal amount, at least in our state, which I think is actually 60 per 7-day period.
I mean,
so
80 would be like a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was basically a healthcare worker, but for this game.
Keeping it alive.
The worst part is he got through a lot of it. Like, he has one trophy that only 0.01% of people have.
Yeah, like a platinum level trophy.
It's technically silver trophy, but yes.
Oh,
it's a silver trophy.
Just came out.
The game just came out. Yeah. Yes, but it is silver difficulty trophy. But he got it and it's like 0.01% of the people who got it already. And Jesus Christ, like, I'm impressed. Like, dude was like blazing through the game. He didn't just like go through main story. He did side quests, everything. Point being, though, he loved it. My Discord, he sent me essays constantly while playing the game. But yeah, this is for you, bud. You're never gonna listen to this podcast. I know it.
So whose episodes are for this one? Because
it's a guess, so we can just vote democratically.
Okay.
Like probably how they all
managed democracy.
Horrible.
Unlike Shinra, who just kind of ruled everything with an iron fist.
We should have told Lord D to give us an order.
We should have told him. Anyway.
Yeah. Note to self in the future.
Guests can pick the order.
Yeah, make the guests pick the order if they're not going to be on.
Or not the guests. Well, if anyone, actually, no. Let me rephrase that, if I may. Any person who gives a recommendation for a movie picks the order.
That's what I meant. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess agree. Who's willing to go first? Mine's pretty short. I had a hard time with this one.
Why did you say gross to my managed democracy comment?
Because I'm so used to having a dictator in this podcast. The episodes are.
Oh, that's why I said managed democracy.
All right. So I think if someone has to step up, I'll do it.
Do it. Go,
Ruthie. You go first.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I thought you were gonna go first.
Yeah.
No, not that you were gonna pick.
I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna be like Shinra, just take over everything.
Yeah.
No, you're going to like Sephiroth trying to take down everything. No, I am Sephiroth in this case. I know a little about the games.
Sephiroth.
Actually, should we say how much we have history of Final Fantasy before we begin?
I mean, I was about to. If you're gonna make me go first,
you go
it's
first.
like my second line.
Fair enough. Go. You go first then.
Okay. What I liked about this movie: Cloud and Tifa. Cloud and Tifa. So, fun fact: I didn't know about Final Fantasy like super in depth until I was like in high school, but I had actually found like these Cloud and Tifa ship videos in like before middle school, like not like 2007, 10 years after. And I shipped them.
Yeah, that was around the time people were really begging for a remake, so makes sense.
So, anyways, numbers aside, I've shipped them for a long ass time, so it was really nice seeing the two of them, like actually seeing what the two of them are like without having like Evanescence in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I was watching.
Was it Bring Me to Life?
I don't remember, probably.
Okay. It's always the AMV song. She has other great songs.
Okay. My next I really appreciated the exposition dump at the beginning of the movie. I've only played like a third of Final Fantasy 16.
You were halfway through.
I've only played like a third, maybe half of Final Fantasy 16. And even then, each game is its own separate thing. They're not associated except by very small, minute details. For the most part, they're nothing alike. Point being, I'm not familiar with like Final Fantasy lore, any of it. 16 is probably the one I'm most comfortable with, and even then, like, I haven't beat the game. So it was nice to just like, here is the plot of the game. I was still very overwhelmed. Anywho, I liked all the bits with Aerith in them. It was really sweet. She seemed like a really nice character. It would have been nice to like know her before she died.
What about Zack?
He seemed all right. Yeah.
Zack's the best.
Dislikes. I had no idea what was going on through like half the movie. Like, I was trying my best to follow, and Hector, who knows a little, like, more Final Fantasy VII lore, I felt like he was less confused than me, but not by much.
No, not by much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you aren't alone. There's a lot of this movie that I'm like, why was that scene there? Like, this doesn't... What's going on?
Yeah.
So I asked my friend about this. The one who played Rebirth in like 75 hours. He's a huge Final Fantasy fan. I asked him about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that movie's kind of confusing because it retcons a lot, just out of really nowhere. Like, Jenova was but in all intents and purposes, extremely dead by the end of 7. Like, there was no way Jenova should have been a thing again, or Sephiroth.
Oh, he's gonna hate this bullshit.
Jenova...
The movie?
Me.
Oh, you're fine.
Jenova was, if I remember correctly, completely eradicated. Doesn't exist anymore. Any semblance of her was gone.
You're gonna hate my fixes then.
Because that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that's what they needed to do to make sure that Sephiroth couldn't... Oh no, because I don't remember.
See, that's what I'm saying. The movie, but this guy who knows the lore front and back is like, yeah, they retconned a lot of shit for Advent Children just to make it work.
Yeah, because they used the Jenova genes to make soldiers, including Sephiroth, and then to stop that from happening, they had to dismantle her because she's dead in the game, basically. Mm-hmm. She's already dead in the game.
She was dead for thousands of years, according to the lore.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And okay, let's not get too lost in the weeds.
Okay. Some of the fight scenes had a Liam Neeson jumping over the fence in Taken 3-esque quality to them, at least to me.
A lot of cuts.
Lot of cuts. The one I'm thinking of in particular was the fight between Tifa and the short-haired gamer bro of the Kadaj.
The punch dude?
Yeah, punch dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of cuts in that, and it made it kind of uncomfortable to watch. At the very beginning of the movie, after the dog running in the open desert scene.
That's Red 9.
Yes. The main bad guy of the movie, Kadaj, is speaking with a mysterious character who's he's sitting in a wheelchair and he's got this white sheet draped over him like he's trying to be like a Peanuts ghost.
Okay.
It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Since the Kadaj kept like talking about a brother, I had assumed, because we were watching with sub, but there wasn't a dub option. The way that he was talking, it sounded like he was talking to a brother, not about a brother, and it was very confusing. And I was like, "Oh, so the two of them are like already defeated. The action already happened. Like this is just like a flash forward from the story." So apparently that wasn't the case. Wheelchair Guy was the president of the evil utility company, TM. And Hector and I were arguing about this through quite a bit of the movie because, again, I thought it was the long hair brother who was who was playing a ghosty goo, and it was not. And it just kind of highlights I was really confused.
The movie throws a lot. It tries its best to explain. It throws way too much in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. Also, I made a mistake. His name's not Red 9. He's Red 13.
13. Yeah. The X, dude. Someone hasn't played their Kingdom Hearts.
All right. Last dislike, and then I'll get into my bullshit.
Can I say one stupid joke? I can hear Ed's anger at me just making that joke. And that sounds as deafening.
I'm still a little confused as to why Kadaj kidnapped all the Geostigma children. Other than the plot reason of the movie is titled Advent Children, so they needed some children to do an Advent.
The Geostigma, from what I could understand, was like it's like a disease from Genova that only targets. I don't know how it targeted people, but it targeted Cloud also because of that. Because he's a soldier, and it was supposed to be like they were under their control, and Sephiroth was supposed to like build an army with those people or something like that. Is what I think was supposed to be. I'm not sure though.
Isn't Cloud not technically a real soldier though?
Well, he got like an organ donation from Zach, right?
No, I don't think so. Ed, help us out here.
He is a soldier,
but he never got the Genova cells implanted, right? Because he had Zach's.
I'm not sure about it.
Because I know he had Zach's memories. That's why.
Yeah, but that's just him. He had some trauma with Zach dying, and then and with Sephiroth burning down the village or whatever, and him having Zach's memories is just him role playing Zach as a coping mechanism. That's what the game is.
I'm also confused as to why the Advent children, or the adults, gave half a fuck as much as they did about the Advent children being kidnapped by Kadaj, because they gave zero shits about the kids when they were still there and when the kids were missing. The only two people who confirmed gave a shit were Cloud and Tifa.
I looked it up real quick.
Okay.
Cloud does have Genova cells.
Okay.
He was given them after the attack Sephiroth led on that town. Because Sephiroth almost killed him.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright. Here's my fixes. And I'm going to try operative word here, try, to make things a little less convoluted. Also, disclaimer, as always, I'm trying my best to just work with the material I have. I did look up a little bit of the plot of the game, but not like a lot. Just so I could like set things make sense. I don't know diddly shit about Final Fantasy VII. My in-game lore advisor refused to be here tonight, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants over here. And I'm gonna set aside the game so I can do my own thing with this. I'm gonna get rid of the weird flash forward, or at least I would twist the dialogue from Kadaj so that it's more focused on his mission, restoring Jenova to her rightful godly status so that she can resume her holy work, destroying the planet and everything on it, as is her wont. Keep stuff relatively the same for the most part. Up until the part where Cloud meets with Rufus, the president of the evil utility company, TM. I couldn't remember Shinra. Shinra, that is the name.
That's the name of the company.
Yeah. I couldn't remember the name until you guys were saying it in the episode, so every time I reference that in my notes, it's either Evil Utility Company or EUC TM.
Or you could just say Shinra.
My way of saying it's funnier. From there, I think the vibe I'm gonna go for in my fixes. I'm gonna preface this now so that it might make more sense. I'm going for a Venom meets Dragon Ball in here.
Wait, what? Okay, keep going.
So the idea is Jenova's cells and body parts are scattered across Sector 7, which is like the setting of the game, right?
It's where the game starts, if I remember correctly. I played through the first, 3 hours of the game. I think it is where the game starts.
Okay. Well, the idea is I want the characters to revisit important spots from the game, like ruins of places that people would recognize, like the brothel or whatever where Cloud Cross dresses, body part there.
It's not the golden sauce. I'll stop. I'm trying to remember because I got to that part.
Me too.
So Kadaj and his brothers are looking to collect as much of Jenova, her body parts and her cells as they can. I'll just skip ahead. I wrote the details of how it's working and later on. Okay. Jenova is implied to be related to the geostigma. As we've kind of said, it's fuzzy as to how or why. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep geostigma. But think about it like this. Radiation can do a lot of really cool things, right? It can cause doctors to see, like, your bones and shit. It can cause crazy cool amounts of power. But there's also a lot of downsides to radiation. So if Jenova's cells can create superhumans, imagine what, or in a laboratory setting, when they're being, poked and prodded and, fine-tuned, what would happen to a human getting, for lack of a better word, a raw, untouched Jenova cell, this goddess of chaos and destruction? It's probably not great. That's where geostigma's from, yeah?
Okay.
That we'll agree on that?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah. In my mind, what's happening is, I don't know, some kind of bullshit from the end of 7, again, I haven't played the game, is causing Jenova's cells to reassimilate together, a la Iron Giant. The end of Iron Giant. Spoilers, sorry.
Okay.
So the cells are collecting back together and they're reforming her body. It's very slow, but it is constantly happening. And enough of her cells have gotten together where there's a finger, an arm, a bit of her torso, a kidney. I don't know. I'm going a lot more into body horror as I'm saying this aloud, and this is a kid's movie?
I think this is the plot of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Probably. I don't know. Not all of her body is assembled at this point. Did you know an adult human body has 36 trillion cells in their body?
Yes.
It's a lot. So, what I'm trying to get at here is, while some of these cells are forming these body parts, the leftover cells, that's what's causing geostigma. So the former terrorist group from VII, Avalanche, they're all coming together. They're like, well, not all coming together. The idea is like Cloud is working like with one or two of them, and they're having these kind of skirmishes with Kadaj over these body parts. But what they don't know is, while Kadaj isn't fighting them, they're also kidnapping people with geostigma in the hopes that with the body parts that they can acquire from the skirmishes, they can sacrifice the geostigma infected people to bring back Genova.
That's metal as fuck.
I was worried it was kind of dark for a kid's movie.
It's fine. This is also like, it's Final Fantasy games are allowed to get darker. It's a thing.
And one last thing I'm gonna say. The reason I said Venom is, in my mind, the way that Genova cells work is they kind of like take over your body one cell at a time, and the more Genova cells in your body, Campaign 3, NADPOD.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking Campaign 3
Direct
NADPOD.
inspiration. If you get it, you get it. Anywho, the more Genova cells in your body, the more control she has over you. So while she isn't like a direct influence on the world, her will is still being pressed down on you. Kadaj and his brothers, they're over 50%, right? So like they're full in on the Genova stuff. Sephiroth, I have to say it like that. It's a fun way to say it.
It is.
He's like kept it at a straight 49 because he's just that badass.
Sephiroth's back?
He will be.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay. Give me... Sorry. I'm seeing the Campaign 3 parallels more and more now, and I'm like, God damn it.
It wasn't on purpose.
I know. I wonder if Murph, who is the biggest Final Fantasy fan I've ever seen in a podcast, listens to this.
Is playing his hand right here?
If he ever listens here, is he going to be like, oh, I don't know. Anyway.
Shit, they stole my stuff. Cease and desist.
DMs. He's a DM. He knows better.
He knows what's up.
DMs know better.
Anywho. Before the final act, at some point, like, Avalanche has collected and maybe destroyed enough of Genova's body parts where she can't fully be rezzed. Like, most of the threat is gone. And maybe they're able to, like, get the kids or all the geostigma people, like, away from Kadaj so they're no longer a threat. Kadaj, the guy, not the group. In the final act, Kadaj loses the kids and can't bring Genova back to her full glory, but she can still enact her will on the world and resurrect Sephiroth so that he can do it for her. Kadaj knows that Sephiroth was not fully loyal to Genova in his last real moments. I looked that up in this Final Fantasy VII plot. He kind of wanted to do his own thing and destroy the world.
Okay, I was gonna say that, like, did you make that up or did you look that up? Because
I looked
so,
that
like,
part up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I would say, I think so. I watched someone fight the final boss of 7 at the kids' home, but he couldn't beat it, so I don't know why he was doing. And I came in really late, so I don't know why he was doing what he was doing. But thank you.
Do you want just a super quick rundown?
Can I finish this and then?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kadaj knows that Sephiroth wasn't entirely loyal to Genova. However, because he has more than 50% of his body replaced with Genova cells, he is entirely, like, he's fighting with all of his will, but he doesn't have enough of his will left to hold Sephiroth back, and he, like, comes back, and then a cool final fight happens. They save the world. The end.
The final fight. Is it basically the same final fight as what we got?
I guess it was a pretty good fight.
That was such a good fight.
With Omni Slash again.
Yeah, but this was like a really cool Omni Slash. I don't know. It was sick as shit. I love it.
So, yes, it is correct that Sephiroth was not loyal to Genova because at the end of the game, he kind of fuses himself with the rest of Genova so that he has full control to then like cast meteor and kill everybody. And kind of because I think his plan was to just like reset the planet or something.
Dude, I fucking love the meteor spell. It's so goddamn cool.
I mean, it's a 9th level spell, Meteor Swarm.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of like the one in the Final Fantasy 14 cinematic.
I'm making a.
I know
D&D.
you are.
Yeah,
I know
but,
you are.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy that in like Final Fantasy and other Final Fantasies, meteor is just a spell. In 7, it's a world-ending spell.
Have you played? You haven't played 16. One
Is
of
meteor
them.
a world-ending spell?
No,
Huh?
I don't want to spoil, but one of
No.
them does. I don't think Ruthie got that far either. But there's a very good. There's a spell used in a new way, or not a new way, but like it's used. It's powered up for reasons, and it is incredible. Like it's my favorite fight in the entire goddamn game, and it is so much fun.
Because in 8, you can just find meteor and cast it.
Oh, I'm sure. No. The game 16 is different. Anyway, good job. That was actually really cool.
Yeah,
and you
somehow
somehow
stole a little bit of what I was thinking, so now I'm reformulating.
Oh, sorry.
Do you need me to go next then while you reformulate?
Yes.
Okay, don't worry about it. Actually, you kind of almost Nomura there, so good job.
Wait, what?
Tetsuya Nomura wrote this movie. You might know the Confusing Kingdom Hearts director.
Yeah.
You kind of like got to a similar place without it being as confusing. So good job. Because Lord knows Nomura loves overcomplicating shit and retconning shit.
When it comes to my turn, can I just say what I would like a Final Fantasy VIII movie to be about? Like instead
if
of
it's quick, yeah, sure.
No,
Wait,
but
like,
it's
in
no,
addition
like in
to,
place
not like-
in place of my review or like thoughts of 7.
Vito, I want to hear your final. I want to hear about Advent Children.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You can do the 8 alongside the 7, but
That's
I don't
the
want to
joke.
just hear the 8. I don't know diddly shit about 8. Tell us
That's
about
the-
7.
That's the joke. Jesus.
Jesus isn't here right now. It's Genova. Anyway.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Genova? She's not gonna save you at all. She's a chaos goddess
If
with
you
a
follow
meteor.
her, so does that mean like everyone in Soldiers are Genova's witness?
Witness me!
Oh
Jehovah.
my god.
No disrespect to our Jehovah Witness fans. The pun was right there.
Was right
I couldn't
there.
resist. I couldn't resist.
Just give me a moment while I reset because that was horrible and I loved it.
Okay, so I'll start with my Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. So likes, the animation was pretty good. The music was pretty good. I have heard a lot of people complain about the characters being a little bit different than they were in the actual game. That's a Nomura thing, I'm sure. My only real dislike is what the fuck is pacing?
Yeah, who is she?
Who is she? Not in this movie. So here's my fixes. A fanboy of Sephiroth. What's his name again? Krell?
What?
The guy. Who's the guy in the movie? The main dude.
Kadaj.
Huh?
Kadaj?
Kadaj. Kadaj is the fanboy. He's a fanboy of Sephiroth. He dyes his hair silver. Like he genuinely wants to be Sephiroth because Cloud was a Sephiroth fanboy originally.
Okay.
So there's a lot of fanboys. He's a very well known person in the lore.
Wait, so he's like the buddy to Mr. Invincible?
Cloud?
Yeah. No. Kadaj.
Kadaj, yes, but this is imagine if some Mr. Invincible being good, he was evil. So this is just him being. But so this is a guy who the movie implies that everyone found out what Sephiroth did to nearly destroy the world, right? But in this movie, this Kadaj here is like a fanboy. He's like, I don't care. He was right. So I looked it up to be sure. The summons, and the movie does show it, but I want to double check. The materia, the little orbs, do a lot of stuff, but they also are what you use to summon. So he steals 3 materia summons from Tifa. No, not Tifa. Yuffie. I know enough, guys.
They look so alike. I don't blame you.
No, I just get the names mixed up. But, because she doesn't do... Anyway. Kadaj steals 3 of them, and then just shits and giggles flies around and just throws the rest away so no one has a chance to find them. Right? No one who knows how to use material can find them. And then he kidnaps children, because Advent Children, as collateral so that the heroes don't go after him as he tries to look for different materia. So it'll be him. It's kind of lackluster and kind of lame, and I hate this stuff in movies, but I couldn't think of anything else. So he summons Ifrit in Act 1. That's the big fight in Act 1. Ifrit. They all have to fight Ifrit, because similar to how they all fought
Is that how they say it in 16?
Ifrit? Yes.
Oh.
How's it said in the context that you know?
Well, 8 doesn't have voice acting, so I just read it how I read it, which was Ifrit.
I think it's just technically Ifrit, but I know he says, like, come to me, Ifrit, at one point. Anyway. So that's Act 1. They don't know what he's looking for. They're just trying to get the children. From that point, in Act 2, it's Bahamut. I'm sure I'm saying that one wrong for sure. But he summons Bahamut, and right as they figure out what he's doing, and they're all looking for the materia that he's looking for, that Karja's looking for, right? So along with that, it's same thing. They kind of beat him. Maybe they have to use a different kind of fight. Let me think. What's a good fight? I'm making this up on the spot this time for the fight here.
Oh, like which
Bahamut? Maybe this time they have to use Thomas the Dragon. Oh, easy. They probably tried to trick him to go into a tunnel where he can't really use his flight, or like some kind of cave.
Mm-hmm.
They just cave him in. He's strapped.
Or they can summon Tiamat.
They can't. Well, they're all lost. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
So they're lost. So, and then finally, Act 3 is when they finally all find the material at the same time, and it's Odin, because I fucking love Odin. Like, have you seen his 16 form, Ed?
I think so, because I think I told you about. I almost spoiled a little bit about the Odin guy for you.
I appreciate you not spoiling it.
Yeah.
And you can't now anyway. I beat the game and the DLC that's out so far.
I
got the season pass.
I'm not sure if I remember. I just really love Odin in 8.
Yeah,
Odin
no,
8 looks really good.
I'll look it up afterwards. But so Odin's in Act 3, and by this point, it's Cloud, Barrett, and Tifa left on the team. The others have to take care of the children. I like it when it's the original 3. It's like a fun little callback. So they summon Phoenix, and they can ride on top of him for a little bit. Then right as they get out in the middle of a cliff, and it's Phoenix versus Odin, because that's a fun as fuck fight. It's a pretty baller fight, since I'm guessing Odin can still fly around on his horse, like in 16. And then it's the 3 of them, right? And they're having a hard time, because the fanboys Kadash, thank you, is full of, like, materia. Like, he's almost overdosing on that shit. And he's, like, using different materia and different, like, elements to kind of beat a few of them. So he beats up Barrett and Tifa, probably at the same time. And then it's just Cloud versus him. But then he finds the rare materia, puts it on himself, exudes the rest of them out, and then is like, and then he pulls out a vial of Genova cells, swallows it, mixes with the materia, and he turns into Sephiroth. Brings his hero back from the dead by using himself as a sacrifice. Look, if Nomura can retcon, I can retcon. I don't care. And then we get the same cool, badass final fight, because, god damn it, I'm a sucker for anime shit. Yes. And that's how I'd fix Advent Children. I am sorry, D. I am sure he expected more.
Damn. Well, so this movie, again, yeah. What's pacing?
Who is she?
Who's pacing? F pacing, I guess. All over the place. I don't even understand the beginning scene with, like, the mountain and, like, the radio call.
Oh, I actually do. I do. I can tell you why. That was the end cutscene of 7, I think, and they just brought it back in high HD quality.
The ending cutscene?
Yeah, it's 300 or so years, or 3,000 years in the future. So
no. The with the helicopter in the mountain. That's not the ending. That's
not.
Oh,
I thought you meant the point with Red. Sorry, I thought I meant the Red 13 and his.
Yeah, that I understand, because I know that's the end cutscene of 7, where Red 13, like, several hundred years in the future, and Midgar is no more, basically.
Humanity's no more. is the implication.
Yeah, and Midgar's like, yeah. And Midgar's the city, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the name of the city.
I know Midgar is.
Yeah, the animation, all that is pretty good for given its release year, which was what, like 2005?
5.
Yeah, pretty good given that. Um, it's like, there's too many characters in Final Fantasy VII. Honestly, like I would have like, what's Sid and Barrett's like point in the movie? What is Tifa? I mean, Yuffie, I guess, has a little bit because they stole her materia, but like,
Barrett's cool. Barrett was one of the original 3, though. He should have a role, if anything.
Yeah, why wasn't he there in the beginning? But whatever. I don't know. It's just this movie's all over the place, and so yeah, I'm gonna just stop there. What I would have done differently. So I would have kept Kadaj and the 3 boys, and they're still like, part Genova genes or whatever, seeds on inside them, and all of that. All of the main points are still kind of there, and they're looking for like, Genova's last missing parts. But I will add in that when they first show up, Cloud notices that they're also carrying like a little container of something that's like, yeah, just a small container of something that kind of looks like what Genova's box looks like in the movie. They have their own little thing. And I would definitely streamline the like, I don't even know like why the punch dude would even like fight Tifa, but like without where I'm going. But what I would do is that these 3 kind of go and break into Shinra, the electric company, and they're definitely looking for something. And that's when Ruth kind of calls up Tifa and Cloud to help these Sephiroth fanatics, to get rid of these Sephiroth fanatics. And then they would go there, they'd have their little fight. Maybe Barrett shows up at this point. Yeah, because one of them has a gun, so that Barrett and the gun dude can fight.
Yeah.
And then the punch dude and Tifa, and then Cloud with the double katana dude.
Would Cloud have his 2 mega swords with him too?
He has like his 7 swords in his bike, so like.
At first I was, this is ridiculous. Then I saw the final bit and I'm like, oh, I get it now. Take it all back.
And I am actually kind of glad that he doesn't use the Buster Sword and is just like out in the city, kind of like a headstone, because the Buster Sword is Zack's, and it's a good thing that part of the story is like moving on from that trauma, just like learning to live with it and like kind of letting go of
until
Zack.
the remake.
Until the remake?
Oh, you haven't played the remake?
The remake is a remake of it, and he's still like
not a remake technically. It's
careful if he doesn't know.
No, Ed, you should play the remakes.
I'm not going to. Dang. Okay. Well, they break into Shinra and they kind of get to the CEO or whatever, and they start questioning him about like, we know you have some Genova cells left. Where are they? Kind of stuff. And that's when Cloud and Tifa and Barrett show up, and they kind of fight. I'm gonna say that they successfully kill the gun dude, and then when the gun dude is dying and stuff, he kind of like goes to one of his brothers and like grabs a little syringe, a big syringe, hits himself with it and like pulls out some of his blood or fluids or whatever and gives it to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And through that, the brothers don't gain a lot of knowledge of where the Genova cells are, even if they exist. So there's a little kind of lull in action, and Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett do a little bit of investigation of themselves and kind of like thinking back through their memories of their like final fight with Sephiroth and seeing like what could have happened here. Like, could have Sephiroth done something to not completely eradicate Genova, basically?
Okay.
And I'll say that Cloud and crew and Kadaj and his brother come to the same conclusion that Sephiroth was in the northern cave, and that's where they fought him at the end. And if there was any cells of Genova, he would have hidden it nearby. So
Mm.
they both go to the northern cave. And at the northern cave, they fight those two again. Uh, the punch dude kind of tells Kadash to go look for the stuff while punch dude holds off the three basically. And in that moment, they successfully kill the punch dude. But throughout all this time, Kadaj finds inside like a gemstone, kind of frozen, how Sephiroth's body was, a part of Genova.
Hmm.
And he successfully breaks that open and takes out the little case that they were carrying. In that case are Sephiroth cells, not Genova.
Oh.
And he kind of joins those two together. And with that, that's where Sephiroth comes in. And I'll say Sephiroth just kind of is there and like realizes like you used the last Genova cells to bring me back instead of using yourself to like accomplish my dream. That was the last of it. There's like it's impossible to achieve my dream now. And Kadaj just kind of like, you know how like when people are obsessed over somebody and the person
Yeah.
that's they're obsessed with like tells them that they don't like them. Kadaj gets that kind of reaction. And I'll say Sephiroth just kills him. And then Cloud and crew show up. And yeah, they have the final fight in the northern cave again.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
this the fix that you had thought up that was similar to mine? Because it actually reminded me a lot more of Hector's.
Um there was a part of it was kind of like I had a thing of like that they release Genova cells on all the people, and that's why they get the whole
Geostigma?
disease,
Yeah.
geostigma. And then after that, Hector's story and your story and my original and yours kind of like put together. And I was just also thinking about like
Oh, so all
the end of Final Fantasy VII itself.
yeah, all three kind of sentied together in your head. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I dig it.
yeah,
It was good.
yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. I don't know, because the whole Kadaj turning into Sephiroth was kind of dumb in my opinion. Because
But
he doesn't have Sephiroth in him. He just has Genova.
yeah,
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. that is kind of weird.
I mean, and the thing is that Sephiroth did join himself with Genova at the end of the thing, and that's how he became like Giga Sephiroth or whatever.
Yeah, that's a cool design.
But like, definitely, if you only have some cells of Sephiroth and some of Genova, like it's just gonna make Sephiroth again, and then he can't do his thing because he needed all of Genova to cast Meteor.
Oof.
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 While Kadaj could have just joined himself with Genova, become Giga Kadaj, and then cast Meteor. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's it for mine.
I I
Abu.
I find it funny how similar ours were
Mm.
without fully like
I use 16 as a base because of the
yeah.
giant fights, the
I mean,
giant
I
summon
already told
fights.
you my inspiration. It was
Yeah.
Venom, Nadpod, Campaign 3, and Dragon Ball. So
I trimmed 70% of the movie because 70% of the movie was fat and stupid and not part of that. Shouldn't have been there. It should have like I don't know if you've already noticed this about me, but usually I like more grounded, uh, contained stories where there aren't like
And Final Fantasy is not a
grand
grounded
scheme
story.
stuff. Eight is more or less that way though, because it's I don't know, like
For the love of God, Ed, play 16.
no.
It's the grounded game you've been
Is it on
wanting.
PC?
Huh?
Is it on PC?
It will be. It will be at some point.
Okay.
Rumor is in a year or two.
I'll get it on PC.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, no, yeah, and it plays like Devil May Cry.
I need to finish 16.
Please.
And okay, that's one thing I don't like about the new Final Fantasy games. Like the combat it's really hack and slash. I don't like that.
This is the first hack and slash one.
I know, but 7 is kind of like that. At least it felt like
7
it. The
is
combat.
not hack and slash.
The remake.
It's not. I've played the remake. I played the demo of the remake. It's not hack and slash. It is a pretty good. There is some elements of turn-based in there, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Play it for yourself. There's demos, dude.
Yes. Oh, Hector, do you know the art that is the blue worm boy from Elden Ring DLC?
Yes.
Yes, he's the best.
He's the best.
We must protect him.
We must protect him. He's gonna be a boss.
Yeah.
We're gonna be crying.
We're
going to be crying while we fight the boss.
It's not gonna be a boss. We're just gonna be a normal enemy that we see, and I will never kill any of them.
You're gonna accidentally swing your weapon and kill one once,
and you're gonna cry.
You're gonna sob.
And then I'll uninstall Elden Ring.
You were playing right before we started recording. I saw you.
Correct.
He got the bug. Anyway, so is that your recommendation of the week, Ed?
My recommendation of the week is watch Code Geass.
Oh, I thought I was gonna make a gag about our recommendations.
You can make yours. I know. I think I know the gag, Ruthie. Go for it.
All right, gang. It's time for our recommendations. Why are we recommending Dune 2?
Oh yeah. Watch Dune Part 2. It's really good. Watch it on IMAX. Watch it more than once. I've watched it 3 times, soon to be 4. Definitely a good watch. Watch the first movie, please. For all you people who don't like slow, almost 3-hour-long movies, just bear with it. Just sit down, watch it all, get as much information as you can from it, and then watch 2. It will not feel like 3 hours.
So here's the thing: Part 1 is all set up for Part 2 is the immediate payoff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Part 1 is just set up.
Yeah.
And Part 2, you get all of it. Everything that you wanted in Part 1, you get all of it.
The thing about Dune, both of these movies, is that the first movie is very accurate to what happens in the book. The thing that's not accurate is you don't get to hear the thoughts of the characters that they're thinking, which is something that you get in the book. You hear everybody's thoughts all the time. They're always kind of thinking about things. It's a very philosophical movie. Dune 2 is not technically as word for word faithful to the original book, but what it is faithful to is the feelings and the character development that does happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows a lot of the stuff that was not talked about, or that was not on screen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It does hit all of the major story beats, for sure, but it is definitely very divergent from the source material, especially for one specific part that made me upset. But it's still a.
But for as upset as it made you, you still love the movie.
Yeah, the movie is still amazing. It's still an A grade for me. It's not an A+ because of that one thing that made me upset. But yes, then that's the thing. Now Dune, these 2 movies feel like a complete story.
Yeah.
Also, more or less. We're gonna get a third one also. So that's gonna be probably not as successful as this one, because then he said that he wanted this one to be much more political.
I mean, yeah, if it's depending on how much he's trying to follow Dune Messiah. I only got through. I read the first 3 chapters a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday?
Wow. I felt, yeah.
And already I can see what he's planning on doing, and I'm like, Hello.
Yeah, I'll start reading Dune Messiah at some point. I still have to
I'm going to read
finish.
both of them in the summer after this.
I still need to read the comic, the second comic that you gave me.
Well, you have
I gave.
until
Oh yeah,
Saturday.
So for everyone who wants to know, this is my recommendation. Ultimate Spider-Man, it's back. This time a new universe. Instead of teenage Peter Parker, there's a Peter Parker who is in his 30s, is married to Mary Jane, has 2 kids, May and Richard, and then he gets his spider powers.
Yeah.
There's more info in the actual comic that explains why he didn't get it earlier.
He's just giving you the teaser.
I'm just giving you the little teaser. It's also, if you're like, okay, is it written well? It's Hickman, who is like the best one of the best Marvel writers in a very long time. Some see him as the Messiah.
Yeah.
And
honestly,
what was the other bit that was cool? I had one more bit. Well, he talked for like an hour. Hickman, best writer, and he based it off of Peter B. Parker from Spider-Verse. So, yeah.
I read the first one, and yeah, it's pretty good, honestly. Hector, we should go to a comic book store. I need to buy more Dune comics.
There's one not far from where you live.
From where we live, or you live, or I live?
You live.
Where I live.
The one I go to.
Oh.
I can come with over the weekend. I can take you there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of how much we love Dune, Ed, check our Telegram group chat.
Can I make my recommendation?
Sorry,
guys?
I thought you were done.
I didn't get to do one. Ed just kind of pushed one on me. No. I'm going to make mine now because enough time has passed. If anyone here likes manga, there's one on the Shonen Jump app called Kagura Bakshi. It was kind of like memed on. Like, people sent the guy who made it a letter before it came out saying that it changed his life. Because it looked generic, right? It's like, oh, it's an edgy sword katana wielder anime, right? No. It's actually good. Like, a lot of the memes stopped after like the 3rd chapter because everyone was like, oh shit, this is actually good. Like, it's about a dude who is like, he fights a bunch of sorcerers with a magical katana because they killed his father and took his and who made the magical katanas. So now he's going on a revenge quest. Not a revenge quest. He's going on a quest to stop them from getting the katanas back. And let me tell you, a lot of these sorcerers are also gangsters. They are hardcore. Like, the series is very cold-blooded at times. The first arc villain killed like 3 people that had a lot of good character details in the span of like 10 pages. And it was like cold-blooded. So if you want some of that cold-blooded shit, like gangster shit, but it's also like manga and like shonen, please read it. It's coming to a if you don't want to get an app, the first also this series had like international appeal before Japan liked it. Like, even they were like, wait, what the hell? So here's the thing. Here's how fast. We're in chapter 32, I think, now, right? And we're already getting the first volume in America by 2024. Guys, the first volume of Tokyo Ghoul didn't come out until Re was already a bit of the way. The second Tokyo Ghoul manga was already halfway through, or like a part of the way through. So, like, this is legitimately fun and good. All right. Thank you for listening to my spiel about a manga.
Speaking of katanas, watch Blue Eyed Samurai on Netflix.
Did you get 2? Okay, fine. Fuck you. So
you talked about Ultimate Spider-Man in this comic.
But you fucking brought up Ultimate Spider-Man. I had to explain to people.
Actually, Ed, you got 3 because you also went into a spiel about Dune.
And he also went into a spiel about Final Fantasy VIII. He also went into a spiel about Final Fantasy VIII.
But that wasn't a wreck, was it?
With Ed, it's always a wreck. With Ed, it's always a wreck. Even.
Oh. If you like numbers.
If your birthday ends with if the day of your birth ends in a Y, you hate Final Fantasy VIII.
Ed was born on Tuzman.
But yeah, that was Final Fantasy Advent Children. Whose picks next? I forget.
It should be yours. Yeah, it should be yours.
Fucking hell.
You had one. It was like, don't talk about the children or something.
Oh!
Isn't that the one you wanted to do? You might have changed it.
I did change it because I changed it to Rebel Moon.
You changed it to Rebel Moon?
He did, but now it's his turn.
Yeah,
so.
when I was supposed to pick that movie, I changed it to Rebel Moon because Rebel Moon was amazing.
What did I do? Wait, hold on. It's Hector?
I think so.
It looks like it's Hector.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Give me a few minutes to think. Let me look through my list. Give me a second. Let me pause. For the next movie, I hate myself for this. We're doing the Last Airbender movie. Anyway, but yeah, the Last Airbender film in honor of the show getting renewed for season 2 and 3. As of this morning.
Ed, you've seen Avatar, yeah?
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've seen Avatar. I haven't seen Korra.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
I saw the first season of Korra. Sorry, my bad. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Ooh, jinx. Today's film was Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children, directed by Tetsuya Nomura and Takashi Noze. The screenplay was written by Kazushige Nojima. The writers of Final Fantasy VII, the video game, Yoshinori Kitase, Tetsuya Nomura, and Hironobu Sakaguchi. The cinematographer was Shunya Onishi. Go show some love to their various social media platforms. They made a movie and a video game, which is definitely more than we can say here. Headphones, microphones, laptop, internet. Long ago, 3 nerds came together to create a podcast. Only now could we gather the strength to fix the impossible. Join us next episode for The Last Airbender. Goodbye.